It's wonderful to have you here for our book launch. And I am very proud of this book because it has been 2.5 years in the making. And now we have it. Thank you, everybody that purchased it. I appreciate you so much for taking the time to do that. We had all kinds of challenges that were overcome eventually, finally happened. We had everything, it really was that crazy law about anything that can happen will happen. It did happen. And yet my publisher and I still persevered through all the insanity. And so the fact that we have a book, we jump up and down that it happened. And let me introduce you to this wonderful publisher of mine, and it's Cheryl Garrison. Cheryl, come on, unmute yourself, wave at people, say
Hello,
hi.
hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Doing great.
Hello, everyone. It's
And
good to be here. Congrats.
yes, and she was with me through the whole process as I was talking about things, and then we found out that the transcripts didn't transcribe the way they were supposed to. We were rewriting, and so it was one of those things that, like I said, it was Murphy's law, and we just persevered, and it happened. So we didn't know if Cheryl was going to make it today. So the fact that you're sitting in a chair on Zoom, I'm thrilled that you're here. Thank you for being here.
Glad to be here. And I was very excited to be a part of this project.
Mhm.
I think it's amazing. And for anyone who is thinking of being an author, is an author, this is like the Bible of being an author and making it into a business. So I'm excited.
Thank you so much, because this is not just a book launch. Oh, buy my book, which of course we're going to say that. But at the same time, we're also going to say, these are the first 8 chapters of the book, and we're going to walk you through and just make sure that you are following all those steps. And this is for people who want to be authors and also people who are authors. So Tasha has some little bit of housekeeping for us. And by the way, for those of you who may not have met Tasha, who is my right hand person, she is the one that keeps me rolling. Hi, Tasha. How about you unmute yourself? I'll take care of admitting everybody if you will do a little bit of housekeeping for us as we move through this 90 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, everyone, and welcome, welcome. We're glad to see you all here. Just a couple of housekeeping notes for us. We like to have fun. We're keeping it simple, but we do ask that you rename yourself. If you are part of the 99 authors, please put 99 authors in your name. We're going to have a breakout later, and this is going to be super helpful for me if I am aware if you are one of the authors. I know quite a few of you guys by face and name and recognize, the names in the book, but it's always helpful with managing a larger group to make sure we have everyone renamed. If you are published or you are a writer, please put that as well. Put published in your name, or writing or writer in your name. And if you are a guest, welcome, welcome. We love you all as well. You can just simply put guest in your name. So we're going to give you guys a couple of seconds to do that. And if you see me ping you just a little bit to say, hey, can you just rename yourself? Please, please, please do me that solid and rename yourself. It would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And I'm also actually going to drop it in the chat just to make it a little a little bit easier for you if that's helpful. So thank you, everyone.
And so for all of you authors who have been a part of the project and you see what chapter you are in this book, because we have quite a few on different pages and what have you. I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of you that took the time to actually contact me, edit your chapters, make sure we got everything in there. I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of that. I appreciate it so much. And for the 99 authors, we are going, after I do a little bit of talking through the first 8 chapters of this book, because you know me, I am a college professor through and through. And what is a Zoom meeting if I'm not educating people on what's in my between my ears and wanting to help people in that way? I want to make sure that we do that for folks. But then you're going to have a few minutes to talk about your book or books. Many of you are double-digit authors like myself. You've written multiple books. We have several people here who have done 20 to 30 books. So just kind of talk to us about your genres. And that way, when you go into your breakout rooms, people can jump around and they'll know which breakout room to go to. And you can hop around if you want to. And If you find that nobody is in your particular breakout room, you're welcome to come back to the main room and we'll chat or what have you, but we'll figure that out toward the end. But right now, I just want to say to all 65 authors who were a part of this process, thank you so very much. I could not have done it without you. And the amount of wisdom that is in that book is just absolutely delightful. Before we get rolling with anything, are there any questions or comments? Feel free to raise your hand if you wish, and we'll be glad to call on you. No? Okay.
And Jan, I have you covered. If you could just send me a quick message and let me know which category you fall in, I will rename you.
Jan Wallen, she is the one that is raise your fees. She was the very last one that came in on the 65 authors that helped me. And so just wanted to let you know, thank you so much on that. The book is available as of right now, and Tasha can drop the link on, if you haven't picked up your copy, it's already in the chat. It's on Amazon, and nobody is more surprised than Cheryl and I that Amazon did that in record time for us. We also were trying to publish, like all of you that were in the book, you will receive your own copy, but Amazon decided to take 4 to 6 weeks to print off the books as opposed to the normal 2 weeks we were used to. So like I said, we had all kinds of fun things happen, but we're rocking and rolling now. Okay, if nobody has any questions, I want to say thank you to everyone who has joined up. Whether you are already a published author, whether you want to be an author, if you're a publisher and you already are publishing other people's work, what I hope to do today is be able to give you some freebies. And we have a couple of prizes we're going to spin the wheel that Tasha has built for us and see who gets to have some of the fun and games. But I think what we're going to do is start off with number one, why did I write this book? Was it some landmark event that happened and I was like, oh, I've got to write this book? No, it was actually just, I wanted to save people 7 years and $35,000. So in the course of 7 years, it cost me $35,000 to learn all the things that I needed to learn to be a profitable published author. Now, you don't need to spend that much money to be an author, but to be profitable. And that's the key. Most of what we're going to focus on is profits. I'm all about the money. And a lot of people think all I have to do is sell more books. And for those of you who are already authors, you're laughing hysterically because you're like, yeah, I wish that was the case. But guess what? None of us are J.K. Rowling and none of us are Tolkien. And so we don't have millions of copies that we're going to sell because many of you know if you get $4 or $5 a book, you're doing really well. Now, some of you who are self-published, you understand that you can adjust that profit margin a little bit, but really the answer isn't sell more books. The answer is selling the knowledge that's between your ears. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So first off, for those of you who are here, who are all authors, I just want to tell you, congratulations. You published a book and you know how challenging that was, how you not only had to snuggle with your demons, you actually had to walk the path with them for a period of time in order to get your book published. And I just wanted to say thank you and congratulations. Why did I write this book? Yes, I wanted to help you guys become profitable and published. But the other thing is as a college professor, as I watched the digital age change, I watched a decrease in the amount of people that were writing diaries, that were keeping journals, that would be handwritten and in three-dimensional space-time. And one of the things I wanted to share with you is that was one of the concerns I had, is that we were losing first sources. As a historian, you know how imperative and important it is to have that boots on the ground kind of perspective. And some of the most valued letters from the Civil War era are letters that were written home by soldiers who were not officers, who were enlisted people. And so those letters were very valuable. And what I've seen is that we've moved out of that space digitally. And so having your book published is a legacy that I want to say thank you so much for contributing to. We hear it all the time. Oh, if you expect your book to do any well, there's hundreds of books being published a day, blah, blah, blah. You have all those numbers coming at you. And I just wanted to let you know, thank you for publishing what you know. because it's going to be valuable down the road and later on. We have one author here who owns a store and he helps you sleep better at night because he helps you with mattresses. And I just wanted to say thank you, Jeff, for showing up. We have another author here that teaches you how to travel with your Yorkie. We have another one that teaches you how to be a visual leadership. There's so many of you that have different types. Another one teaches you how to go walking up a mountain. Another one says, be a brave heart. We've got Wade here who does illustrations. We got Yvonne that teaches you how to write a book. Okay. There's all of these different kinds of people, and you all have different sorts of ways that you deal with life, the universe, and everything. And I just can't say thank you enough for putting down what you know. And that was one of my biggest, the reason why this was such a passion project for me was that part right there. Okay. So now that you've done that, you are now becoming an author, right? And once you become an author, oh, nobody told you it became a book business. Maybe you heard that, but back when I published in 2003, I really wish somebody had told me, oh, and by the way, Janine, you're going to have a book business, because it totally caught me off guard that I was now a business owner. For those of you who are ahead of me in that, good job. Well done. So what we're going to do is we're going to spin the wheel, because one of the books that I wrote was The Thriving Solopreneur. So go ahead, Tasha, unmute yourself. And if you'll share your screen with us, we're going to spin the wheel to see who is going to get The Thriving Solopreneur, which is a great book to have when you become a book business owner. So go ahead, Tasha.
All right, we are going to get started. Let me get my screen up for you guys. All right, let me know when you can see it.
We can see it.
Awesome. All right.
Hopefully
It's
we can hear
spinning.
it.
Here we go.
Yay, Nadine. Okay, now you have to be present to win. So is Nadine here? Raise your hand if you are, dear, because I can only see a little screen. No? No Nadine? Gasp. Okay, spin it again. We need somebody who's here. Okay, how about Patrick? No Patrick? Somebody else we take off the screen. Go ahead. Third time's a charm. I feel it. I feel it. Third time's a charm. How about Sandra? No funny. Okay, well, I was like 3 times we would try it, and if those people weren't there. So Tasha, if you take them off the wheel, and then we'll spin the wheel again at the next point, and nobody won it for this one, and we'll go from there. Okay, cool. All right, thanks, guys. So one of the things that was really important was the 4-hour-a-week system that I came up for the Thriving Solopreneur. It's 4 hours a week that you're working on your business, not in your business. And not everybody kind of understood what that was, what happened to what was really a part of all that. And so one of the things that Tasha can do is pop into the chat the critical 4-hour-a-week system. And it is a quick checklist that is available to all of you on how you go about doing the 4-hour-a-week system. It's on line 26 of our spreadsheet, Tasha. And yes, it has been a very busy Pi Day. For those of you who are geeks like me, 3.1459, and it goes on and on and on. Today is 3.14. It's Pi Day, and also it happens to be my all-time favorite dessert. So thank you for celebrating today with me. So let's go on to the next point, which is building your email list. One of the first things you want to do as an author is build your email list. And if you're one of those people who you're just now starting to write, start building your email list. Your goal is to get the very first 100 people to subscribe to your email list. And a lot of people say to me, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to do that, Janine? I go, it's very simple. It's very easy. You email everybody you know and you say, hey, I'm writing a book. I would like to send out my chapters to you to have you look them over. Would you be willing to do that with me? And that's how you start building out your list. That's how I got the first 115 people on my email list. I hadn't even written my book yet, and I started that. This is back down in the dark ages of 2006, okay, when I first started doing that. Thank you, Tom, so much. I love it that you're in the chat with us and helping us out with that. But one of the things that I do on building your email list, I'd like you to download this particular link here. And it is a cute little chat here. Let me get everybody in the meeting. Thank you very much, Tasha. How to build out your email list. When you click on that link, it'll pop you into a Google Doc that I've built out. And on there, you're going to see 3 lines and you're going to see 2 dates. And what I want you to do is you have Facebook, LinkedIn, and your contacts on your phone. And I want you to write down how many people you know on LinkedIn, how many people you know on Facebook that are your contacts, and how many people are in your phone. And then give yourself a timeline, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, whatever your timeline is, and start connecting with all of those people. And what you're going to do is eventually build out what's called your master contact list. Now, this is right out of the Thriving Solopreneur. The reason you build out that master contact list is you're going to start calling every day. You call one person. And by the end of a year, you'll have 480 people on your list that you may not have had before. How do I know that? Because that's what happened to me. The more people I called, the more people I brought onto Zoom, the more people I had meetings with, the more I was able to sell more books, more programs. That's how I became the big networker that I am now. And so I just wanted to let you know that was the system that I used. I get on the phone and call people. I wouldn't make an appointment. I wouldn't set them up ahead of time. I wouldn't get them on Zoom. I just call them and say hi and leave a message, and we would connect later that way. So that is one of the things. It's called my master contact list. And in the chat, Tasha will put that in. It's on YouTube on the Janine Boland Show. I actually have specific things on Open Friday Coffee where I have my master contact list where I walk you through how you build that out. If you are a business owner and you do not have a master contact list, or if you don't have a CRM of some kind, you are going to lose your financial stability because you will not have those lead generated offers coming in. The master contact list is the way you start and you build on that. Now, we have Laura DeFranco here, and she has her ways of handling what she does, and so does John Lotta. They both have their ways of handling lead gen, so make sure you go into their breakout rooms and talk to them about that. Okay. So when it comes chapter 4, let's talk about chapter 4, which is your website. And I talk about the author website. You only need 3 pages. And when it comes to those 3 pages, there are only 3 things that your visitor wants to know about you. Number 1, how do I get on your email list so that I know what you are doing? Okay. How do I know what events you're doing? That sort of thing. Number 2, how do I connect with you? And please don't give me a form. Like, a lot of people want to know how to connect with you without the form. Why? Because we're getting a lot of spam with the form. So figure out another way to operate with that. And the third one is, how do I pay you? I cannot tell you how many authors I interviewed. I went to their website and I thought, how easy is it for me to pay them for whatever they've got going on? How easy is it for me as your visitor to pay you? Okay. And if you wonder why you're not getting as much money as you think you should, and you definitely deserve, that is why. Do you make it easy on your website visitor to pay you? Okay. All right. Chapter 5. This is the fun one. This is all about your media kit. Now, I love picking on my podcasters because it's so fun. Because I tell them all the time, I'm like, look, I'm an author. I have a media kit. This is how I build it out. You're a podcaster. I'd like to have you on my podcast, but you're not allowed on unless you have a media kit. And the number of podcasters that have to scramble and pay me for my media kit course makes me laugh, because I'm like, they don't have a media kit for their own podcast. So if you're an author and you have a podcast and you run a publishing arm of your business, make sure you have a media kit that shares all of that information with the people who are building out and doing media for you. And so I wanted to go ahead and spin the wheel. Tasha, if we can give that another try. Mainly, I wanted to spin the wheel because the media kit course that I offer is a $197 program. And so for those since Tasha is not on her video, I'm going to make the assumption that she's busy doing something.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yep.
Go ahead. I'd love to go ahead and spin the wheel and see if we can get somebody to win that $197 media kit course, please.
All right, here we go.
Oh, good. Is it Tom or is it Jeremy? It's Jeremy. Jeremy won today. There you go. Yay, Jeremy wins. Fabulous. That's wonderful. So congratulations, Jeremy, and thank you for being present to win. I was going to be really bummed out if somebody didn't win the $197 course. Geez, OP. Tasha's going to drop the link in the chat for you, and then it'll send you into our program for that. Okay, so that's chapter 5. Why should you even care about a media kit? Whether you're on a podcast or a radio show or a television show or something like that, you need a media kit. If you want to get into TEDx talks, that sort of thing, then you need to have a sizzle reel as well as a flash reel. So those are things that you want to start building out for yourself if you choose to move into more of the speaking arena. Many of you may or may not know, I have been in radio since 1982. That was when I first started being in the audio world. And then by the year of about 2002, I was what they called an audio blogger. They really didn't know what to do with us because we weren't on radio. We really weren't on these other things. And so it was back in 2016 where I became known as a podcaster. And since then have built out a broadcasting company. We did that for several years and I ended up selling it last year. And so that's one of those fun things where I'm like, yeah, I've been in radio a while. And let me tell you, that media kit, very, very important when it comes to promoting yourself. So let's talk a little bit about your speaking schedule. The speaking schedule comes right out of the book, Author Podcasting, How to Take Your Book on a Virtual Tour. There is also a checklist for the media kit. You can get it by getting onto the link myvirtualbooktour.com. That sends you right into that. Also, Tasha has a link where you can get the media kit checklist. Make sure your media kit has all those elements and you'll be in good stead. Also, Tasha, we were going to spin the wheel one more time to see who would win the author podcasting book on that. So if you wouldn't mind giving that another try.
Yes,
What
we will
happens?
definitely do that. Let's see if we can get another winner this time.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let
Everybody
me get
cross your
that.
fingers. See what
Yes.
happens.
Let me get that pulled up really quick and let me take Naomi and Nicole off. We don't want it to land on them one more time. So let me get them pulled off. And Jeremy, you were a great winner the last time, so we'll get you off of there too. All right, here we go.
Yvonne? Yay, Yvonne. Okay, good. And thank you, Yvonne. And if you already have a copy, don't worry about it. You can trade it in for something else. I know, right? I love it when a situation like that happens. Cracks me up. Okay, so chapter 7, which is on page 23 of the book, is your writing plan. What kind of a writing plan do you have? And we talk a little bit about how often you should write. And we described how various authors spent certain amount of time writing each day. Some people do it once a week. Some do it in waves. It all depends on your personality type. But the biggest thing is in chapter 8, you want to make sure that you find out a writers group that you're a part of. So by a show of hands, would people tell me how many of you belong to a writers group of some kind? Yeah? Yeah, there's a few of you floating around. Excellent. Congratulations, because being a part of a writers group is kind of its own accountability. If you don't think it is, then I'd love for you to know that Tolkien was a part of what they call the Inkwells. And it was so funny that several of them that were a part of the Inkwell group, you could hear their typewriters going in the middle of the night on Tuesday night because they met every Wednesday. And Tuesday night, they were banging away on the typewriters trying to get stuff put together so that they had something to offer their writers group on Wednesday. So I just wanted to let you know that having a writers group kind of puts you in a framework. So if you struggle, then get on to Meetup or something like that. Look at your local libraries, usually have it. I also run my own writers group. It's called The Right Habit, and we meet twice a month. We meet on the second and fourth Tuesday. And so Tasha will put that in the chat, but mine is not free. Mine is paid for because we give you not only help on and accountability on your writing, but we also help you with promotion and marketing of your book once you get it published. So it's kind of a whole extensive program with that. Okay, so that is the first 8 chapters of the book. I kind of ran through that pretty quickly because I wanted to be able to walk you through what the first 8 chapters had. And also, for those of you who may not have it quite yet, Tasha, if you'll put in the chat the first 8 chapters of the book. And then the second half of the book is on these amazing authors who are part of the 99 Author Project. And so, what we're going to go through is if everybody will go down to the bottom of Zoom, and if you are a 99 author, you were one of those that are part of the project, I would love it if you go down to the bottom of your Zoom menu and click raise hand, and that will queue you up so we can go through all of you and have each of you talk about your book, give a little bit of a bio about you. We need about 30 to 45 seconds. And that way, when we send you to your own breakout room, people can bounce around. So, for those of you who are here visiting, or you're authors, or you're writing a book and you want to chat with some of these authors, would you please kind of take notes on whose room you want to bounce into and what you will be doing with them? Let's see. I have a few people here who are part of the 99 authors. Okay, so we're going to start with Jeff Bourgeois. And Jeff, talk to us a little bit about those 12-hour books that your process is all about.
Sorry, I wasn't sure if you wanted one of these today.
I know. We're all on Zoom so much that if you would like your on mute card, thank you. See, most of my authors have their you're on mute cards. Thank you so much, everyone. If you don't have one and you want to be a part of the cool kids, I'm joking. Go ahead. We have a link where you can get your on mute card and use it in your Zoom linking. But go ahead, Jeff, talk to us about 12-hour books.
Love it. Well, thank you. And Janine helped me with this immensely. We co-wrote it together. And the idea was really simple. I discovered that books are just puzzles that need to be assembled. And so what I figured out was the pieces. And Janine said it had to be 12 hours. Truthfully, we wrote that book in, I think, 3.5.
Yeah, but we're beasts. We're total beasts, okay?
But the reality is, in my humble opinion, everybody overthinks the book and they over agonize. And I have somebody who's been editing their first book for 12 years. Please don't do that. Get it published, get it in your hands. It's not set in stone. You can make revisions. And there's something magical about having your book in your hand where it feels real and you start to feel like an author. So that's my advice: is rip the band-aid off and get it done, and then you can perfect it later with feedback.
So for anyone who finds themselves struggling, you may want to be in Jeff Bourgeois' room. By the way, he's also Canadian, which is super cool. So thank you for being a part of NAFTA and helping us. Okay, next is John Lauda. So John, talk to us a little bit about your book, what you're all about, how we came to be. Oh, and you're on mute. So guess what? Everybody can hold their sign up. Thank you for that opportunity.
How's it going, Janine?
It's going great. Thank you for being here today.
You're welcome. I would say I met you through your book about podcasting, which was awesome, and a nice, clear, simple book. It helped me so much. My book came out, I think, a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. It's called The Synchronicity of Love: Stories That Heal, Transform, and Awaken. And I like to say it's the story of a rigid, rational man who became a random, accidental mystic. And it's 119 true and mostly true stories. I loved writing it. And I mentioned in your little interview in the book that I have new compassion for editors.
And for all of you who are editors too, thank you for what you do.
Yeah, and I'm literally working on 20 other books at the same time, which is really odd, but it seems to be working for me. 2 of them are almost done.
Bravo. Well done. That's
Thank
what
you very much.
happens. They're like
Yeah.
potato chips. You do one, and the next thing you know, you're writing several more, even though I
Yeah.
swore I'd never write anymore, right? I got it. Okay, so John is somebody you definitely want to talk to, especially if you're looking for love in all the wrong places. I definitely encourage you to be in touch with John. Okay, Yvonne, how to write a book. Talk to us, my friend.
Yes. Thank you, Janine. Thank you for including me in this, and for having this wonderful party tonight. So I am a developmental editor. So what that means is when you're writing your book, I help you find all the best words and put the sentences in the right order. And I sometimes slap you on the knuckles and say, no, we're not going to say that. Or I will, one of my big passions is helping people include stories in their work. So I really believe in the power of storytelling, and that is one of the things that I am very passionate about my authors, is they will give me a report, Janine. It will be this happened and then that happened, and I'll be like, but somebody cried or somebody fell down, and I want you to tell me all about that. So that's what I do.
And I highly recommend that you join that breakout room if you are struggling and you need a taskmaster. She's your person. Okay, so next we're going to go climb mountains. And I wanted to say thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Renee, because she was kind of, go ahead and unmute yourself. She was kind enough to get me started climbing mountains here. We both live in Colorado. We both live in the flat foothills of the Rocky Mountains. And I had been wanting to get out hiking in the hills for a long time. I finally broke the ice with Dr. Renee. Talk to us about your book, my dear.
Yeah, Janine, great to see you. It's been a long time, so it's
Yeah.
fun to be here. So thank you.
Mhm.
My name's Renee, and I've written a couple of books, but I'll talk about my first book that it registered to me when Jeff was saying that he knows people that have been working on a book for 12 years, and that is hard. And I know people like that too. My first book only took me a week to write, and it's a very small book. It's only 40 pages, my very first book. And it's Achieving Your Potential, 15 Empowering Steps to Reach Each Summit. And yes, my background is in climbing mountains. I'm a former professor, but I've taken students around the world in climbing mountains, and I've learned so much about what it takes to reach a summit. And it doesn't have to be a mountain summit. It could simply be a goal, an aspiration, a dream, an ambition that you wish to pursue. And it's a book to help you get there, and to not to leave anybody behind, and thanking them for the support and encouragement they gave you to reach that summit as well. So if that's something you're interested in, I'd love to have you in my group.
And thank you very much. I absolutely enjoy doing the mastermind on the mountain. Thank you. And Lisa Reed, it has been a hot minute since you and I. I love it that I finally get to see all these people again. Anyway, talk to us, my dear, about your book and what you're doing.
Well, just like you may have a deep desire to become an author before you became an author, you might also have a deep desire to become a speaker. And my book is Get Speaking Gigs Now, which is also the name of my company. And in this, at the time of publication, I had given over 500 talks. Now it's over 600. And basically, I work with people on how to get their talk done. So done is better than perfect. And with confidence, with ease, so you can get booked over and over again for the rest of your career. And you can talk about your book, you can talk about your services, talk about whatever it is you want to talk about, but you're just educating people with your actual gifts. And that is what I love to do. I love to help people get their talk ready to rock. So it was really exciting to be a part of this project. I'm a 7-time author now, but 2 of my books were just me. And then all the other books I've been in have been compilations like this project. So thanks for inviting me, Janine.
Hey, no problem. Hey, and you're an author, whether you're in a compilation book or if
That's
you
right.
have
You
written the
are.
whole book. To me, you are an author. And I know a lot of us kind of think, oh, well, I was in a compilation book. I'm like, come on, we all know how much fun it is
It's
trying to do
amazing.
just to do a chapter. Sometimes it's like, but I have 5 chapters in my head and I only have 1 chapter to say this in. So thank you very much. Now, here's a lady that I found through a mastermind group, and she is an editor that had no idea how awesome she was. And so, Sophia Falk, talk to us a little bit about that Alaskan adventure that you went on, and you totally forgot. It was like, talk about somebody who can bury a lead. This was the woman who could do it. Talk to us about Alaska, dear.
Okay, first thing I do have my card.
Hey,
Now and secondly, it's Falky. I'll just do that now.
thank you.
I'm getting better. You know, my one sheet and everything, I'm spelling it out now. My book is Embracing Greatness, a Guide for Living the Life You Love. And the opening story, that's right. Yeah, that now I know what you're saying. The and it's truly about, you know, all the breakthroughs you need to take, the steps to create the life you would love living. I asked 3 people to review my book when it was done, and one of them came up to me because I kept referring to the Alaska story, and she goes, Sophia, there's no story in there. And I realized that I had totally forgotten to tell that. So I added a preface or something so I could get it in. And it's when my mother was 75, I was 43, 42. I took her on a 2.5 month, 11,000 mile camping trip from Tucson, Arizona up to the Arctic Circle. And it was an amazing trip. It's now I'm known as the Alaska daughter in some circles, and I go on stages and I tell this story and bring some of the life lessons from it, including finding out 2 years later at her memorial service that she had been talking about that adventure for 2 years, because these elder ladies were coming up to me one by one and touching my arm and saying, "You must be the Alaska daughter." So I had instant status there in the church that day. Um, and the thing I do also is I help people get published. I've got several book projects I'm working on now. And I'm also helping a couple of people get on stages, which was not something that I thought was in my wheelhouse, but they are such babies that I'm coaching them. I mean, just a simple thing like the website and doing the one sheet and all of that. For people writing their books, I created this little thing, 13 publishing tips you should know to keep from tearing your hair out. And that's a free download from my website, embracinggreatness.com, because there are so many mistakes and there's so many disreputable publishers out there and editors, etc. And I wanted to give people the tools. And it's fun to work with people and help them get their creativity out and expressed to the world. So that's me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sophia. And that's one of my favorite stories is when people talk about burying the lead, burying your star story. And Lisa Reed can talk to you a little bit about how you have a signature story when you give out. And it was so much fun to hear her talk about this Alaskan adventure. We're all like, we've been on this mastermind call with you for 3 months and you just now are bringing this up. So I'd love to tease Sophia about it. It's lovely to see you, my dear.
Thank you. And it's so good to see you. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. And next is Jan Wallen. Now, Jan is one of those, she and I, talk about near and dear to my heart, because when I first started writing, it was money. It's not just for rich people. And I was trying to teach people about debt-free living and that sort of thing. And what's amazing is Jan is like, raise your fees, raise your fees. That's her book. And so it was a match made in heaven. And Jan also happened to be the last author for the project. I had to shut the project down after I had the interview with Jan. It's good to see you, Jan. Talk to us a little bit about your book and about how you came to be in that book.
Great, great. Congratulations, Janine. It's wonderful
Thanks.
to be here. And congratulations on the book, finally. Yeah, my book is Raise Your Fees Without Losing Clients. I have worked for years with business to business consultants and companies and entrepreneurs and speakers now on how to raise their fees without losing clients. What I decided to write the book because I found so many of my clients were undercharging. And there, I have put in the book and in my consulting a framework of 5 simple steps to the income you want. So I've broken it down into very actionable things you can do, and the book takes you through that step by step. You can find also more actionable things on my website, raiseyourfees.com. One thing to remember, and I ask you to write this down, when you talk about outcomes, your income goes up. So many people in an elevator speech describe all the things they go through, the training, the consulting, this step by step by step. When you talk about the result you're helping them get, that's when your income goes up. And that really is what the book is about.
And thank you, Jan. I always love every single one of the authors I have talked to. You guys all have these things that you offer. Every single one of you were so helpful with your 5 tips that you give to additional authors. And so, Jan, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here tonight. And then we're going to head on over to, I can't see who's up in my corner now. Some of you have 99 authors published. It starts with an M. Mentor. Oh, okay. I can't see the name. Anyway.
It says Mary Gall.
Mary Gall. Sorry, Mary. It's just if you will go and if you will talk to us about your book and what's cooking in your world.
Yes, yes. I'm so excited to be a part of this and excited for the book to come out and can't wait to read my copy and read all the tips from everybody. So I am an author, speaker, and a business coach. So I work with solopreneurs to help them get those ideas out of their head and into an action plan. I've written a couple of books, one about kind of my project management brain on entertaining. So that's The Guests Are Here, How to Throw a Dinner Party you can enjoy and not spend all your time in the kitchen. And then my book for business is Vitamin C3 for Business, 52 Ideas to Connect, Contribute, and Celebrate Your Way to Success. So those 3 words are part of everything that I do is connection, contribution, and how do we celebrate together. So celebration is a powerful thing that we as authors, as entrepreneurs, need to make sure we're celebrating all those little steps along the way so that then we get to have these big celebrations like when we have a book launch. So Mary Gall with Success Magnified, and delighted to be here on the book launch party.
And thank you so much, Mary, because when we were talking about celebrations and stuff, there was so much going on in each of our lives at that time. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for hanging in there with multiple reworks of the interview that we had to do. Really appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
Next is Lisa Strauss Lawrence, who was really sweet and let me be in her book, compilation book. And then I was and then she became part of my book. So we just did a cross. So unmute yourself and talk to us about your book on careers.
Janine and I met through WOW, which is Winning on Wednesday. And I was really intrigued by her story. And I am a career counselor by trade. However, I'm also a not-for-profit by passion. So my first 2 books are not-for-profit. They support pancreatic cancer research. My husband died of it. And so I did 2 books on that. And my latest book is about careers, and the career journeys that are on there are fascinating. And Janine introduced me to Crystal Dykart, who is on this party right now. And she also contributed her career journey. So it's nice to be in your book, Janine. And thank you for sharing your journey with me as well.
And I absolutely had a fabulous time. And so if you know of somebody who is in a career transition and is needing to move from one area to another, please have them talk to Lisa, because she will be able to help them out as they move into a different arena. Now we have a couple of authors I want to make sure we don't miss. And the first one is Laura DeFranco in the Braveheart Productions. So Laura, go ahead and unmute yourself and say hi. You're like me, you're a multi-book author. You sell packages. You've got the whole thing going on.
Hey everyone, it's Brave Healer Productions.
Brave Healer. I'll get there.
Is the name of my business. I'm a 13-time author. The latest book is called Networking for Healers. I have a first 30-year career in holistic physical therapy. So the primary client that we publish is a fellow health and wellness professional. Networking, y'all, it took my publishing business to empire level. So if you want a great book on networking, if you hate networking, you're gonna love it after reading my book.
Thank you so much, Laura, and appreciate you for being here. It's been a hot minute. So many of you I haven't been able to see in way too many years. Okay, next is this gentleman came to me from Mike Capuzzi. Now, Mike Capuzzi is kind of the man when it comes to short, helpful books. He actually coined the term shooks. And it was because of him that I learned how to make these small little books that would be very helpful. No stories, just like little tiny books. And Jeff is one of these guys that was just so humble. And he's like, are you sure you want me in this book? I mean, I own a mattress shop, and I'm like, you're an author. You teach people how to sleep better. So Jeff, if you'd be kind enough to unmute yourself, and we would love to hear from you, please. Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? If it's a little ironic to you, what you're seeing on the screen, the guy that sells sleep looks exhausted, because I am. Been a crazy busy week so far, so I'm doing my best to hang in there.
Yep. Well, you know,
Um,
we had the time change and it's spring, and dude, none of us are sleeping during this time of year.
yeah, yeah. So yes, I use books I just saw a comment come in about an 1800s book. I have that around here behind me
Oh my
somewhere.
gosh. Oh my
It
gosh.
was by Ostermore Mattress. So yes, I have a number of books. I have the book that Janine is referencing, our Sleep Better book, which is all about sleep tips, better sleep habits, sleep hygiene. It's an educational piece. Yes, there's a little bit about us. Yes, there's a little bit about how to complete this journey of buying a mattress. And selfishly, it does point to us, but we earn the ability to do that one customer at a time with our reputation. So yes, that's the Sleep Better book. And then I have my own book that I have about leadership and empathetic leadership called The Space for Leadership. So I've got that one too. And there's a few
Bravo.
others, and I actually have another one I'm working on right now.
What? Like potato chips. Look at you go.
I laughed at that. Yeah. Yeah. And look at me. You can tell I eat potato chips. So.
Jeff, thanks so much for being with us tonight. It's lovely to
Thank you.
have you with us. It really is to see everybody
Thank you.
with us here. And then there's somebody else. Did I get all the 99 authors? Because some of you were able to put your hand up, some didn't. So I'm going to do some call outs. First of all, to Terry, if you will unmute yourself, because she is a podcaster. Literally, we were doing the Kick-Ass Boomers podcast like 30 minutes before we went live here with the 99 Author Project. Go ahead and unmute yourself and introduce yourself. You're on mute still. So you're on mute. You're still on mute. So, okay. So we're going to move on. And then we have a couple of authors here that are published, and somebody I'd like to do a shout out to, because I just met them and I wish I had met them beforehand, is Wade of Goo Genius, because Wade is from the Midwest. He's an illustrator. I love cartoons. I draw my own cartoons. I never think they're good enough. And I saw some of Wade and what he does. Wade, unmute yourself, would you please, and say hi to everybody?
Yep. Hi there, everybody. Can you hear me? We're good?
Yes, we
Okay.
can hear you
Just
and you're
making
good.
sure.
And one of the things that I absolutely loved about his stuff is he helps you learn how to illustrate. So if for those of you who want to illustrate your own books or you want to get a little bit better, please make sure that you contact Wade, trade contact information. And you also do caricatures, is that right? Like you could do a cartoon of the author?
Absolutely. I do professional caricatures, anything in cartoon form you want. We've done animation, whiteboards, all sorts of different weird things that people need for informational layouts and vision boards and things like that. So I wasn't expecting to actually present something here. I was just listening into what everybody's doing, but thanks for the opportunity. If you need drawings, I'm your guy.
Thank you very much. When I found Wade, I was like, we need to talk and I need you to come on to Open Friday Coffee. But he didn't have time, but he came to this. And so I was very grateful to have him with us. Now we have a few people here who are published authors, but they published their book after I had to cut the time. And so for those of you, Nancy Fields, Crystal, and Shailene, and did I miss anybody? Chris Trammell. You guys, please feel free to put your hand up, and that way we get you in a queue, and then we'll have you talk about your books. So we'll go ahead and have Crystal unmute yourself, and then we'll go with Chris.
Hi, thanks, Janine.
Lovely to hear from Maui. So not all of us can be on Maui right now.
Right, it's wonderful to be here. And yes, congratulations to everyone who is published. Janine knows better than anyone. My journey to completing my first book was less than pretty and fun. But my first publication is Creating a New World, A Journey Towards Self-Actualization. And it ties together kind of the blending of me finding myself and finding myself as a person, as a therapist, and as a spiritual being. And so it was quite the journey. I have this book. I also have to shout out to Jeff Bourgeois for being amazing. He just helped me publish my second book, which is on a Wise Woman workshop. that Janine also inspired and is in part of, and it helps share some of this wisdom. We talk about storytellers, and like through all of the ages, we pass on information through storytelling. And now with technology, this is kind of becoming a lost art. So starting some projects to kind of help capture this wisdom so we can share our stories to the next generation.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Appreciate it. Chris, hey, great to see you. Introduce yourself. Talk to us. Tell us what's going on in your world.
Hi, Janine, and all of the 99 authors. What a pleasure to meet all of you. Congratulations. I acknowledge you for being part of the book and getting it out to the world. I'm here in Long Beach, California. I do have my book that I'm working on right now, which is my advanced reader copy called Living Your Life's Work. So for those of you in alignment with that type of theme, I'd love to talk to you. And I was a track and field coach for about 25 years. I was a curriculum writer and course developer for the Los Angeles Zoo for about 15. And I've done lots of transformational work. So I'm a performance coach that helps authors get their work done and then deliver it to the world. So if I'll stop there, Janine, and I'll make sure I know what I could share after that.
Okay, yeah, that is so considerate of you, and we will find ways for you to share a lot more. Okay,
thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you. And so, Shailene, talk to us from the Great White North. You're in the middle of tax season. This woman's a CPA, and she still found time to show up. Talk to us, dear one. What is your book about?
Actually, another shout out for Jeff Bourgeois. Got to do it. I got to shout it out to him because if it wasn't for him, I don't know how long it would have taken me to get out this first book because I was so worried about making sure it was perfect. And he was like, Shailene, just get it out. So mine's more serious. It's about divorce, especially through COVID. It's American and Canadian versions of divorce. And protecting yourself from financial abuse, because of course, being in the accounting field, we saw, and Annette is on here as well, we saw a lot of financial abuse during COVID. It kind of came out to light. So we kept answering the same questions. And so finally, I just wrote a book on it, on how to protect yourself financially if you're considering divorce or you're in the process of divorce.
Thank you so much. I know that that's education that we wish we didn't have to have, but sometimes, but, it's serving a need. Thank you for solving that problem. Nancy, so great to see you. Thank you for being with us. Talk to us about your book.
Well, thank you. And congratulations to so many of the authors who I've met. So are in your book, and also listening to your podcast. I feel like I know so many of you. Well, like a first book that I did was a few years ago, and I was part of a collaboration, which was fun. But there again, a big shout out again to Jeff Bourgeois, who said, Nancy, your website is so well organized. We're just going to put a book together. So it's just amazing. And I'm very proud. I'm very proud that I have a book. And when I tell people that a website came out of my book in just a few hours, the jaw drops. So.
Yeah, exactly. Nancy had a blog that was so organized and so well done. Jeff was able to take that and run with it. So thank you so much, you guys. Now, this isn't necessarily a book, but I do have to highlight this wonderful New Yorker who absolutely loves golf. and you can always tell when spring's starting to hit because she's starting to rub her thumbs. She's ready to get rolling with it. Carol Vinci, if you'd be kind enough to unmute yourself and talk to us a little bit about what you got going on there on your back screen there.
Janine, thank you so much. And you're right. I'm in a countdown phase, and, and this year is going to be a little more challenging because I've spent the last few months dealing with breast cancer. So,
well, congratulations for being pink and for being a survivor, my friend.
Thank you. So yes, I've started exercising so that at least I have a reasonable representation on the golf course. My publication is a card deck.
Yes.
And it's been a little delayed because of brain fog. I actually struggled at an ATM earlier this week trying to figure out how to use it. Just mind-boggling. Anyway, celebrate. Somebody mentioned that word earlier, and that's what I am all about. I am here to break the myths, the mold, the model, whatever you want to refer to it as, and discuss the superpowers that come with the condition. It is not a defect. And I had an extremely successful corporate career at IBM using the superpowers before I was aware of my condition. I knew I was different, so I am here to help people. First, recognize the symptoms, either in ourselves or in the people we live or work with, because very often people are not aware. And I'm interested in connecting with the divorced person because families with ADD or ADHD are twice as likely to divorce, particularly if the woman has it. And that's the type of data that I've included. On the superpowers, visionary, creativity, and all of that good stuff. So I
Thank
look
you.
forward to connecting.
I really appreciate you being here, Carol. Thank you so much. And yes, I love it when you guys do a shout out of, and I need to connect with so-and-so. So this is what's going to happen. What we're going to do is Tasha has been busily working away while I've been yapping with all you lovely people, and she's got the breakout rooms already. So if you're a 99 author, you will automatically go into your breakout room. And for those of you, you can decide which breakout room you want to go in. So Tasha, is there anything else I need to say about the breakout rooms?
No, nothing at all. Again, as Janine mentioned, 99 authors, you all have your own room. Your name will be listed as well, so everyone else can pick and choose where they want to go. I do know Jeff has to leave in the next couple of minutes, but I will leave his room open for anyone who wants to join him to catch him these next couple of minutes. But other than that, I think we are all set. We will be in the rooms for 20 minutes, and then the rooms will automatically close and everyone will filter back in the main room. If you want to switch rooms, just use the features at the bottom of your Zoom to switch out rooms, and it'll be fairly easy. If you need help, hit the help button, and I'm happy to come in and help you.
All right, folks, we'll see you in 20 minutes and have fun chatting with authors and ask them anything. Trust me, these people are more than willing to educate you with what they know. Have fun. So welcome back. And what we're going to do is, for those of you who are still here, still with us, we would love for you to be able to participate in the 30 days of writing prompts. What does that mean? Don't worry, it's not a funnel. What you're going to do is you're going to go in, and we've got the link right there, and you're going to sign up, and you are going to get one email a day from me that I recorded back in 2020, the dark days of 2020, where I had a video where you would get a writing prompt and then you can write to that prompt. And the whole idea is to write maybe 200 to 300 words. It's like, this is just something to give you ideas. One of the things that I learned from Stephen King, yes, he came to our college back in the 1980s. And one of the things I learned from Stephen King is that professional writers actually warm up a little bit before they start writing. Oh my gosh, who knew, right? And they use writing prompts. Well, I didn't know anything about that. And so when people started talking about writing prompts, I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I realized what they were discussing was what Stephen King had written about. So go ahead and sign up for your 30 days of writing prompts. You're not going to be put in any kind of a funnel. About the most that's going to happen is I may occasionally let you know some of the new stuff I have going on. But after that 30 days of you getting that email once a day, after that 30 days, you'll probably hear from me once every 2 weeks after that. So that's about all the stuff that's going to hit your inbox. Go ahead, Yvonne, what's cooking?
I just wanted to mention one of the gals in the room with me was writing a fairly personal story, and there are always questions about how much can I reveal and what is the family going to say. And I just want to say that Anne Lamont, who wrote the book Bird by Bird, which is a great book, if you don't have it, you should get it. She says that if they didn't want you to write about them, they should have behaved better. That's all I can tell you.
And just to let you know, when I first started writing, I had a member of my family that said, well, I don't care that you're writing. I don't care that you've become an author. Just don't write about me. And I started laughing because I thought, what arrogance. She doesn't even know what genre I write in, which is self-development, self-help, self-evolution. Guess what? That toxic personality had no room to be in the books that I was writing. So anyway, I just thank you very much, Yvonne. I love that. They should behave better. And last but not least, if you guys haven't been able to become a part of The Right Habit is a $37 a month program. It's my low cost, my low entry level program. If you guys want to meet every Tuesday and every Wednesday, second and fourth Wednesday of the month, that's where we meet. And I go through all 8 chapters of the book and we talk about how to build out your business and what you can do. And if you're like, Janine, I don't need this, I'm like, fine. Do you know of somebody who does? Thank you very much for helping me put my 4 children through college. So that is what we're doing with that. And like I promised you guys, there is no high ticket offer here. We're not trying to sell you on anything like that. Now, there are a few of you who may or may not know Sam. Sam, if you will unmute yourself for a moment, please. Sam and I met several weeks ago. She happens to be my accountability partner in a mastermind. Oh, you got the book? Oh my gosh, honey, you're not even in the... Go ahead and unmute yourself and talk to us for a moment.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to partake with you today. I am, as Janine said, her accountability partner in a mastermind and a fan of Janine Balan.
Well, thank you so much. Oh my God, because when you and I were working together, I didn't expect to see you today. And so it's lovely to have you. There's a couple of others that I do not know. And that is emerging author Lucy. And then Annette, it has been forever. So Lucy, if you don't mind unmuting yourself and just saying hi for a moment, talk to us about what emerging author means for you.
Yeah, I just started writing during COVID.
Ah.
I'm working on my first book.
Okay. And I'm sure you have a lot of wonderful people here who are helping you, I hope.
Yeah, I just spoke to Yvonne, so she was
Good.
very helpful.
Good. Okay.
But as I've progressed in going to summits and discovering authors, I've just recently discovered Nicole Bright, the Canadian, and she does creative nonfiction. So I think I'm rewriting the story. I mean, I've just got little vignettes here and there, but I'm going to have to rethread it and braid it differently. Yeah, so it's a new attempt to writing.
Okie dokie. Definitely sign up for the 30 days of writing prompts. If for no other reason, then you just have it come into your email box every day. Okay.
Yeah,
it's very simple. It's not going to, I'm not going to ask you to change your characters or anything like that. So no worries. And then Kathy Hickey, if you would unmute yourself. Yeah. You're working on a book. You want to talk about it?
Okay. Yeah, I'm writing a book through my dog's eyes about the journey with my husband getting sick and the rambunctious dog having to learn how to be a good dog and not be so mischievous during that time, and to educate people a little bit more on small cell lung cancer at the time.
And even though it's such a serious topic, because she's talking about it through the eyes of her dog, and it's called the Bow Wow Vow. And I'm like, oh my God, I absolutely love this. So, and then last but not least, and as I like to say, the last shall be first and the first shall be last, right? So Annette Eldridge, if you would be kind enough to unmute yourself and talk to us a little bit about, hi, what are you writing?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect.
Bravo.
Okay. All right. So what I do is I work with Shailene. We do a magazine together, Ontario Wellness Network. So a lot of my things are survival guide to the winter in Ontario and survival guide for different seasons, and doing things where you're able to go out on a budget or no budget whatsoever. So informing people about like festivals that are for free and things like that. We've got a new project that is happening with a new divorce book. So I am not divorced, but I have a lot of experience working with elementary school, where a lot of the kids were like, I just want my parents to spend time with me. So letting the parents understand that it's just no money, just time. They just want that quality time. And how to do things on a budget for that.
Thank you so much, Annette. We appreciate the work that you're doing there. And I just wanted to let you folks know, if you happen to have any questions, please reach out to me through the Open Friday Coffee. And you can go to openfridaycoffee.com, or Tasha will send you the more direct link, because when you go to openfridaycoffee.com, it takes 11 seconds because it's redirecting through multiple pathways. And so if you're on Chrome, it's going to take forever. So Tasha's going to actually put in the chat Open Friday Coffee. It's totally free to come on, show up when you can, leave when you have to. I also have a playlist on YouTube about that, where people will ask me questions. I'll record the answers and I'll put it up on like a 5-minute or a 9-minute video on YouTube, so that you guys are getting some coaching that way as well. Cecilia, it's been a while since I've seen you. Thank you so much for being with us. And it's at 7:30. I like to start on time. I like to end on time. Thank you for spending time with us today. It was a pleasure being able to be with you today, and keep writing. We need your stories. We need what is between your ears. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Great seeing you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Janine.
You betcha.
You.
Janine, I'll reach out to you and we'll find each other on your coffee lab.
I love that plan.
Janine, I'm gonna write a book now.
Good, because you need to. You need to make it happen.
Sam, email me about a podcast.
I will.